Hey guys, I'm back. Did you miss me? Because I missed you. I'm very excited to be here for episode 2 of our Black Friday Cyber Monday stream and shop session that we are doing here at Linda's. Thank you all so much for joining our first session that happened at 11 a.m. Central. If you missed the first session, it will be available for replay here shortly. It will pop back on the website. If you're watching us on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, I highly recommend hopping over to our website and watching from the live shopping page so you can take in the fun of the actual live shopping where you can add to cart directly in the video instead of having to leave the video and head over to our website, which I like that as well, but I don't want you to leave the video because you're going to miss the information. But you can visit our website, lindas.com, and click on the live shopping tab, and you'll be able to watch this directly in our browser. And then you can add to cart throughout the stream and have your cart building on the side, and you're never missing a beat of the stream. So thank you again for all that are joining. The chat is live. Hello, Robin. Thank you so much for joining. If you have any questions about thread, make sure you're dropping those questions in the chat. And as I get to a natural pause standpoint, then I'll get those questions answered for you. But this is a live Q&A as well as kind of a walkthrough of the different threads that I grabbed. Now, here at Linda's, we carry over 60 brands of thread. I'm going to say it one more time. We carry over 60 different brands of thread, 66 to be exact. And then each of those brands have different families in them as well. So well over 100 different types of threads here at Linda's. I grabbed the first set that caught my eye, and those are the ones that we're going to walk through. So this stream and shop episode, like the fabric one later today, will be a little different. I will add in one of the products that I'm talking about. But remember, like when we get to Omni, there's 172 colors in Omni, and I'm just adding one in. So you can add it to your cart. So just it's kind of your reminder to go back and look at Omni and look at all the different colors. But just that one that I'm adding isn't the only one that we offer. So keep that in mind whenever we are working through all of those threads. You'll be able to hop back and forth between looking at the video, or if you want to hop into the website and look at some threads, or if you want to take notes and hop over and look at threads, you can definitely do that as well. If you're new to Stream and Shop and you weren't here at the 11 a.m. session, I just want to take you through one thing real quick. All of our fabrics, threads, battings, notions are on sale here at Linda's for the Black Friday Cyber Monday holiday. We're majority of stuff up to 35% off. There's some different ranges, like in thread, we'll see different ranges from the 35%. Some of them are at 20, some are at 30. So when you're looking through, a lot of that stuff is up to 35%, but still really good sales. Also, real quick, want to take you through, we went over this a lot in episode 1. And as we work through all the sessions, it's going to get a little bit less of that info so we can dive right into the topic. But it's still a new thing for today for some of us. So if you watched at 11 a.m., just sit tight, stand by, and we're going to get to the thread stuff. But I just want to go over things. I have to have it all written down because we got a lot of good stuff. All of our batting, 35% off. All of our fabric, up to 35% off. All of our notions, up to 30% off. All of our threads up to 35% off. So all the threads we're talking about today, plus the other 35 probably, are up to 35% off. So that's really good. We're going to have some in-store deals. So make sure you join me at 3 p.m. today live, or if you want to be in the store and join me too, that'd be fun. I'm going to do a store walkthrough. If you've never been to our store, you kind of see the behind the scenes and how everything works. And if you are in the DFW area, or if you're traveling through Dallas today, or on Saturday, we have some exclusive in-store deals. So we'll get a sneak peek at what's happening there. For shipping rates, your order, as long as it's over $99, you can get free shipping on that order. It does not include batting rolls, though. Those do have a flat $19.99 fee on them per roll, but and everything else in that order over $99 is going to give you free shipping on that. If you do an order over $149, you're going to get the free shipping and the 2,000 bonus Corey's Cash points. So you can use those points and cash in for rewards in our online or in-store system on your next order. So 2,000 Corey's Cash points. If you spend over $249, I believe it is. I think it's $249. I could be wrong. I might have said it wrong yesterday. No, $299. Okay, $299. If you spend over $299, you're going to get a $10 gift card. Okay, so that's really, really great, and you can use that again on your next purchase here at Linda's. So that's exciting. There are also a bunch of other ways to earn bonus points. Sean, who is normally the guy that helps run all of this stuff for live shopping, he is down in the warehouse right now helping out the team because y'all are cranking. Those orders are coming in. We appreciate it very much. But he did forget. He told me not to forget that there are other like bonus stackable points. So when you're looking on the website, sometimes there will be like a banner on the top of the collection. For instance, for Fantastico, when we get to that, if you buy 2 Fantasticos, you get a bonus 500 Corey's Cash points. For the Quilter Select family of products, we looked at those this morning. Here's one of them. Okay, for the Quilter Select rulers of products, if you purchase all 5 of the crystal rulers, then you get an additional 2,000 points on top of the other 2,000 points that you're getting, on top of the standard points that you get. So there's a lot of different ways to stack your points when you're earning them, which is really, really good. And I will do better to try to call all of them out. I do have my phone right next to me, and Sean will shoot me messages, I'm sure, because I know they're watching downstairs. And I'm sure he'll give me some more hints that I can give you guys to make your shopping experience more fun. So that is very, very exciting. Let's see. Robin, can we wait to pay our cart when this is over, or should we pay after each live? So that's a good question. What you could do, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. If your order's over $99, which all of the stuff that we're looking at has been well over $99 when you combine it all together, every order you make, you're getting an entry into our drawing, which we're going to talk about here shortly. So that's a bonus for you. The warehouse team, if you are doing multiple orders, majority of the time they're going to hold it and combine it all into one order anyway for shipping purposes. So keep that in mind. But you do whatever works best for you. But a couple extra entries into the drawing, not a bad idea to do it. Okay. So speaking of drawing, let's talk about that real quick. Over the course of this Black Friday, Cyber Monday holiday, and it did start on November 24th. So if you've ordered before, then don't worry. We do have incredible bonus giveaways that are happening. So every order you place gets you an entry into the Black Friday bonus giveaways. We've got a grand prize and then 4 other prizes as well that are possible up for grabs. So 5 potential winners can happen. Like the grand prize, for instance, an Aliso M3 iron, the carrying case, 2 of the Aliso wool mats, 2 of the crystal Quilter Select rulers, a Quilter Select rotary cutter, and a Quilter Select 9x12 mat. A great grand prize there. But it's still all the other. These were hard to put in order of what really was a grand prize. The next one is a roll of the Linda's Deluxe Cotton Poly batting and the batting scissors. And we've got the 30 mini glides. You've got Quilter Select rulers, Aurifil threads. So many different options that are available. So, every order that you place gets you an entry into that. So definitely keep that in mind. So that is all good. Robin said, I wanted to give a shout out to your customer service team. I called with a question and they were so nice to help me out. I'm so happy to hear that. Our customer service team is a team of 1, and she does not get enough credit. And anytime y'all call in, make sure you're nice and pleasant with Summer. Summer is my cousin. She's been on a few of our lives with us. She is our customer service manager, and she is amazing. So, Robin, thank you so much. I will let her know. She might be watching the live. She might not be. But yeah, she is. We have a wonderful customer service team. We have some people that help out with emails and stuff like that. You'll see some of those behind the scenes, but Summer is the main one. So she is fantastic. So I'm so glad. I will let her know that as well. She is so sweet. You are correct. She is amazing. Okay, well, let's dive into Sue. Summer is awesome. Summer is awesome. Hold on. I'm going to take a picture of this and text it to her real quick. This will make her day. Okay, sending this to Summer. I do apologize. This is not part of the Stream and Shop session, but as you guys know, it's my show, so I like to do what I like to do. So we're going to add this in real quick, send that off to Cousin. Okay, I just sent that to her. She's going to make her day. Okay, fantastic. All right, well, let's talk threads. Again, if you have any questions over the course of this episode, feel free to drop them in the chat, and let's dive right into it. So we're going to go overhead and take a look at thread. Let's start in, where do we want to start? Let's start in the cotton family for threads. And this will also work out if you have any questions about the EZA thread. which is what we talked about a little earlier today in the session. So reminder, all the threads that we have, I'm not able to talk about all of them today because it would take quite a bit of time. But all of the ones that I'm showing, I've just picked one of the colors for you to see them. And then you can browse the rest of the pile on our website whenever you get there. So if you want to look at other colors in the family when you're learning more about them, that is the spot to do it. So we're going to start with signature. And I will look at the variegateds too. So signature is kind of like one of the OG quilting threads, one of the original ones, okay? So the Bright Kelly, this is a wonderful green for Christmas. Signature is 100% cotton, and it is a Tex 40, so TEX 40. Threads are measured in their thickness by multiple different terms. You'll hear Tex, you'll hear weight, you'll hear denier. They're the most common ones in quilting and sewing are going to be Tex and weight. Again, just like the scant quarter inch, why couldn't we keep it just one thing? But, here we are. So this is a Tex 40. A Tex 40 is going to be a little bit of a thicker thread. So if you really want to see your quilting a little bit more, you would go with a little bit of a thicker thread. This is 100% cotton, so it's naturally, like the fiber is going to, have a little bit more lint to it. So when you're quilting with that, just keep that in mind whenever you're doing your quilting. You could add a little bit of the Isa thread that we looked at in our first session this morning. The Isa thread is going to help lower that lint level as well. And when I am using that Isa thread on my thread, which I'll show you momentarily, that's going to, again, help lower that lint level, help put life back into the thread. If you've got some really old cotton threads, Isa thread is the way to go with that. You can just drizzle that right down the cone, and you can see that in that 11 a.m. session. But again, 100% cotton, a nice thickness on the thread, looks beautiful, and it is a mercerized cotton. So it has a little bit of it's hard to see because there's plastic on it, but a little bit of we used this one this morning, you can see it, a little bit of a sheen to it. Not like, oh my gosh, embroidery thread sheen, but it looks like a really nice polish. There we go. It's like a polished cotton almost, and it's really, really nice on that. Signature comes in a multitude of different types. So again, we have the 100% cotton solid on there, and my mom, thanks mom, dropped in the collection link for that, so that one is there. But it's a really nice polish. It comes in multiple different things. So we have the solids. It also comes in variegated. I love the variegation on these when I really want to see the coloring, because signature is variegated. It's 4 to 5 inches in their change of color. So what I mean by that is if there's a pink, blue, red, green, whatever, the pink line, the blue line, those will all be about 4 to 5 inches until they change color. So if you really want to see like long strands of coloring when you're working, signature is a really good one if you're doing like a wave type pattern and you got like a light blue, dark blue. There's one, I think it's called Dreamy Blues that they've got. And because it's got that longer wave, you're going to see more of that coloring. It's going to give it a lot more movement. It's not a quick change. So it's really great for movement on that longer wave. So this is the one that I've added on the screen now, Summery Fun. Really like this color. Another big thing about variegateds, and this is any variegated, this isn't just signature, I always recommend that you look at variegateds from the top of your cone. If you've watched me, if you've been with us for a long time, I always preach this on variegated from the top of the cone, because it can make a huge difference on how the color lays out. And I didn't grab one that was really stark on the, oh wait, yes I did. I grabbed a little baby one. Okay, so this is signature just in a mini spool, and it's like the coloring, it's really hard to see, but when you look at it from the top, you get to see all of the colors that are in it. So if you get 2 variegateds, 2 of the same color, these obviously are not the same, I know, but if you get 2 of the same color, one might be wound completely different, but you're always making sure to look at them from the top, and that's going to provide you with the best look of the coloring that's available. The variegated is also a Tex 40, and just so you can see the color shift, hopefully you'll be able to see it. Yeah, you can see it. There we go. So much longer. This might be 5 to 6. Much longer. No, 4 to 5. Much longer change in the color. So this is a yellow and blue. So you can see the change of that color from the next one, and it is a blend into it. Some variegations have a very stark, like blue yellow. This one's going to go blue into like a mossy color into yellow. So it's going to be a very smooth transition when you're looking at signature. This one's French Country. The one on the screen right now available for the add to cart is the Summery Fun. One of my favorite colors to use. It's a fun change throughout. Deb said, looking for a really good cotton thread for piecing with low lint for my Bernina. Okay, Deb, I've got you on that. So just stand by for a second. And when we get there, I'll get that for you. The signature, again, Tex 40, really, really nice. These are on those larger 3,000 yard cones. We also have it in the smaller cones in the Tex 40 in solids and variegateds. And then we have, this would be your first one, Deb, to look at. There'd be another one after that. We also have a 50 as well. So, okay, this is what's funny about how they measure weights and thicknesses, guys. Because remember, I told you I wish we'd keep it consistent. So their cones, they're designated in a Tex format. So these are both 40s, and their little mini spools, they're designated in a weight format. So there's a 40 weight and a 50 weight that is available. Okay, so just a real quick recap on weight and Tex. With weight, the higher the number, the thinner the thread. With Tex, the higher the number, the thicker the thread. Okay, so that should it. I know. Why couldn't we just keep it one consistent thing? I'm seeing a lot more companies shifting to weight, but just when you're looking at it, that's how you know. So for Tex, the higher the number, the thicker the thread. For weight, the higher the number, the thinner the thread. Okay, so we have the 40 weight here, and then the 50 weight here. So Deb, the 50 weight mini cones, this is a great start if you're looking for a piecing one. There are a few other options as well, but the 50 weight signature is going to be 100% cotton, a little bit on the thinner side, which is wonderful for piecing to get you some really nice flat seams. But I do have a few other options as well that you can keep in mind on that. Okay, so that's signature and its family of cotton. The next cotton in the lineup, since you were talking about piecing, Deb, let's go straight to that. Okay. So the next piecing ones in the lineup are going to be the Aurifil 50 and Aurifil 80 weight. Okay. So I'm going to put the Aurifil 50 on the screen now. This is the color's called Moonshine. It's a really nice kind of like mossy gray color. It blends really well with a bunch of the other options that are available. But this is the 50 weight Aurifil, very nice polished cotton. I did a wonderful podcast with Karen from Aurifil at the Houston show. You can go back on our YouTube channel and look at that, and she takes you through all the different types and reasons why you would use those colors. Why I would use those weights. But the 50 weight's a really, really good one for piecing. If you do any paper piecing, like I love foundation paper piecing, the 80 weight is fantastic for that. Because remember, we're looking at weight. So the higher the number, the thinner the thread. So the 80 weight, and I'm going to throw that one on the screen for you as well. The 80 weight is going to be a much thinner thread, still 100% cotton, but your seams are going to lie so flat when you iron them because you've added in a thinner thread to the mix and it's not as thick of a seam. So it's going to be a really nice thin piece. Love, 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 love. The Aurifil 80 weight for 100% cotton. I don't have one with me, but if you're looking for a cottonized polyester, the 80 weight Deco Bob, we have that on our website. I just don't have one in my hand. That one's really nice as well. But I love, love, love the Aurifil 80 weight for almost all of my piecing because I like a really flat seam. But you could go up to 50 if you wanted. On the 50s, when you first open it up, it's really hard to find where it starts. Okay. And so you can use, and this is the kind of the trick of Aurifil cones, you can use these little mini spools either if you have like a spool holder where it sits straight up Okay, so like think of this, my hand is the flat surface of the machine. Okay, so it can sit straight up on that. If you've got that type of cone holder where it pulls the thread from the top, if you've got your machine where it's a traditional spool like this, the one of the sides or both of the sides of these, actually one of the sides here, actually rocks off, and that's where your thread will start hiding when you first get it. So that's where your first piece will hide. Look, that's the 50 weight. Look how thin. That's nice. Okay, but that's where it hides. So you can also use that as a side spool like you're used to, or whenever you're done, you can just wrap that around the bottom here, and then take your little orange cap and pop it right on top. Okay. So the orange cone and section, that designates that your Aurifil is the 50 weight. It's on that iconic orange spool. There's also, again, the 80 weight is a cherry wooden spool. So those are both of your Aurifil options. If you've never used Aurifil before for piecing, I highly recommend trying the 50 and the 80 and seeing which one you like. You'll like them both. It just depends on how thick you want the seam to be. You can also, if you want to go to a larger size of thread for either sewing with a larger needle or for a hand embroidery, if you want to do some of that. Okay, I'm going to put another one on the screen for us. Aurifil also makes a 12 weight. Okay, so the 12 weight comes on a red spool. It is a much thicker thread. Remember, when we're talking about weight, higher the number, the thinner the thread. So the lower the number, the thicker the thread. So we do offer a 12 weight from Aurifil on the red spool. If you're going to use this on your sewing machine or your quilting machine, you'll definitely want a larger needle. And you're definitely going to want to have play with your tension a little bit. I have seen people stitch with the 12 weight without a problem. You just have to make a few additional adjustments. But you do have many options in the Aurifil family. This is just 3 of the options that they offer. There are so many other ones that are there. So this is my kind of natural stopping point real quick, and I want to go ahead and take some questions because I see a few that are in the chat. So let me pull those up real quick. Let's see, Joanne. Aurifil is such a responsive company. Had an issue with one of the spools, and they were overly generous to make it right. They are very, very good. Sometimes the spools can be, every manufacturer has an issue. That's just the way it is. We know this. And they're very good about getting things together. Let's see. What thread do you recommend for piecing? I am new to quilting. Great question. If you're brand new to quilting, I personally like either the signature 50 weight, so on the tiny little cone spool thing, or the Aurifil. The Aurifil's got a wider color range, and it's just a little bit of a different type of thread. They're both cottons, but I like using the Aurifil 50 or Aurifil 80, but if you're brand new to quilting or sewing, the Aurifil 80 sometimes, just because it's so thin, might give you not an issue, but it's going to be different working with it because it's a thinner thread, to keep that in mind. But either one of these. But I would probably start with the Aurifil 50 and then maybe move to the Aurifil 80, just depending on your project. But like I said, the thinner the thread on this, the smaller kind of seams, or the flatter your seams are going to be. And if you're doing foundation paper piecing, 80 weight, it's the way to do it. By all day, every day. Let's see. I know there was another one. I'm trying to find it. Suggestions for mixing weight on top and bottom. Love MagnaGlide, but trying to balance my tension. Oh, great question. Okay. So using different weights top and bottom, you do have to balance your tension out a little bit, like you mentioned. The MagnaGlide bobbins are going to act a little bit different than a traditional wound bobbin would, because one side of those bobbins are magnetic into the case to hold that consistent tension. Make sure you don't have your little no backlash blue grayish steel spring in the case. You don't want that in there when you're using the MagnaGlides. That can mess with the tension of it because the magnet has to attach 100% to the bobbin case. If there's any stuff in between it, any barrier in between it, that can cause a little bit of give there. So try that when you're working with it. And then the MagnaGlides are going to be the MagnaGlide Delights are going to be a 40 weight. The MagnaGlide Classics are going to be a 60 weight. So you can balance weights. I try to keep them fairly close. So like if I'm using a 40 in the bobbin, which is this one, it would normally be the opposite for me. But if I'm using a 40 in the bobbin, I probably wouldn't go more than like a 60 on top, unless I really want to play with my tension, or go down in a needle size a little bit. But I try to keep things close together. You'll normally see me use like a 60 or an 80 in the bobbin, and then I can do like a 40 on top. I normally don't have much issues with a different type of weight in the bobbin, whereas if I do in the top, I don't know if that makes sense. It's the bobbin normally works a little bit easier for me personally, but you will have to fiddle with your tension a little bit. By all means, you're going to have to. I would, pro tip, if your tension is like perfect, like say you're using a 40 weight top and bottom, you're like, my tension fantastic right here, this is it. I would recommend getting a TOA bobbin tension gauge if you don't have one. I can try to add it to the thing, but a TOA bobbin tension gauge, and measure what your tension is running at. This is the M style one. I would measure what your tension is running at in your bobbin, and then write that down and say, this is fantastic. Glide works best at this number for me. Okay. And then in your top, if you decide to change that, grab a Sharpie or an Expo or something of some sort and mark, like with an arrow or something pointing one direction or up, that this is where the dial was before I fiddled with it. And if you have to make a slight adjustment to the left or to the right for that one quilt, then when you go back home, that arrow is facing up or left or however you want to do it. That this is exactly where it needs to go back to get back to that other good stitch that I had when I used a different thread. I would do that. There's that. You all have wonderful questions. I know my mom is over on YouTube answering questions as well. I'm not ignoring you, but I know she's got that covered for me, so I do appreciate that, Mom. Can you use a 60 weight in the bobbin and an 80 weight on top? Yes, Joanne, you can. Not a problem at all. Done it many, many times when I'm working with that. I've done a deco bob on top and a bottom line in the bobbin. Never had a problem. Just if you're going in a smaller, like if you're going a thinner thread, you might want to go down at least maybe half a size in your needle. So like I normally use a 4.0 size needle or size 18 when I'm quilting. If I go down to like an 80 weight or even 100 weight, which we'll get to a little bit later, I will sometimes go down in needle size now. I didn't used to, but I like to go a little bit lower. So I go down to like a 3.5. I don't go much lower than that. But that just makes a little bit of a smaller hole in the eye of the needle and in the quilt. And that gives less play for that thinner thread to pop around something and snap. So keep that in mind as you're working. Let's see. Deb uses 80 weight for hand applique and it buries very well. It does. Yeah, that 80 weight just kind of disappears. Da, 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 da. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, cool. All right. So that was I'm trying to look through the ones that I grabbed. Yes, that was all the cotton offerings that I grabbed. However, we offer a ton more. And all of our threads, remember, are up to 35% off right now during the Black Friday Cyber Monday. Every order that you get is going to get you an entry into our big drawing that we're doing next week for it. So those are the cotton ones that I grabbed. We have a lot more of the polyester offerings here at Linda's in our store. And I want to talk about that briefly because when I say polyester, sometimes I get a little bit of a when I'm doing my thread work. Okay. Now, the polyester nowadays is not like old age polyester where it's made out of a different, it just feels different. It feels scratchy. It doesn't like have a stretch or a movement to it. It's very stiff. A lot of the newer age polyesters are more of a cottonized polyester. So they move a little bit different and they work a little bit better with your fabric. The biggest question that I get is if I use a polyester thread on a cotton quilt top, is it going to tear the fabric or shred the fabric over time? Not that I have seen in my lifetime that I've been doing, and all the ones that my grandma and I we worked together a lot on different quilt tops and different quiltings, and she's using polyester thread before as well. So you're all good with that. Again, those newer age ones are cottonized, majority of them, or they're a poly wrapped poly with a different type of fiber to them. You also, if you really want good info about the thread, I had Callista from WonderFil on After Hours with me, and she took us through how many different types of polyester fibers that there are. So you might have, if you picked up a polyester thread maybe at a different store and it was a different type of fiber of poly and it gave you issues, it's probably because it wasn't like a quilting or sewing poly. There are different types of ones. So keep that in mind. As we go through the range of them, there's a lot of them. And again, I only grabbed a hand. Oh, wait, there is one more cotton that I didn't talk about. We'll go back to it. But yeah, there's a wide range of different threads that are available. I did forget one that I grabbed. That is a cotton, a variegated cotton as well, from Superior. So let me throw this in real quick. Let's go overhead, chat about it, and then we'll get into the polys, and I will answer the question I see in the chat momentarily. Okay, so King Tut is one of the cottons we have here at Linda's as well. 2,000 yards, 3-ply, 40 weight, 100% extra long staple Egyptian cotton. That's one thing I forgot to mention when we were looking at the other ones. The longer the staple, the stronger the thread. So if you hear extra long staple, it's a very strong fiber type and very strong thread. King Tut is a wonderful, beautiful variegated. Remember to look at them from the top to get the best view of what it's going to look like. This is a gray and a blue, and that is a stunning color range. But when you look at it on the side, it looks more blue than it does gray in certain turns. But this is King Tut is a 1-inch variegation, so it's a very fast variegation on that coloring. So you're going to see a lot of the colors. It's going to blue, gray, blue, gray, blue, gray, blue, gray, really fast in that. 100% kind of has that same polish cotton feel when you're looking at it. Still very, very beautiful as it goes through. It has a few solids. They primarily show just variegateds now with King Tut, but a few solids are available in the line. But this is one of the variegateds. This is my mom's favorite. 994 is this one. And you can see how fast that variegation is. Blue, brown, blue, brown, blue, brown. It's really, really quick into that. So if you really want to see a lot of the color, when you're working with it, going with a faster variegation where opposed to more of the longer one like Signature was, you're going to see more of those happening in the quilting. Just like that. So King Tut, really, really nice one. 100% cotton as well in that set. Beautiful. Okay. All right. So now let's look at some of the polys that we have. One of the question was, what's better for long arming, cotton or poly? Ooh, very good question. And it all comes down to, you're probably going to hate this answer. It all comes down to personal preference. I really, really like using Omni, which is a Tex 30, kind of like a 40 weight, or Glide, which is a 40 weight when I'm long arming. It's my favorite thing to use. That's just because that's what I like. I like the matte finish of Omni, which we'll get to, and I like the sheen of Glide, which we'll get to. And that's what I use on all of my long arms. I love them. Now, I switch to specialty threads for different things. Like I'll use a bottom line or a micro quilter, which we'll get to, when I'm doing stitch in the ditch work or background work. But majority of my overall quilting, my edge-to-edge quilting, will be done in either Omni or Glide. That's just what I like. And just works really well in my machine as well. So it's really, really great. I also see that my mom dropped the link for all of the threads. So thank you, Mom. I appreciate that in there. So let's take a look, since we started with it, let's take a look at Omni. Okay. And as we're getting into some of these, I will let you know if they're like my favorite go-to colors. That way you can make sure you have them. This one, one of my favorite go-to colors. Okay. So this is Omni. This is 3021. This is ash gray. And Omni is poly. Yes, these are polys. The link that she just posted, the all threads link, that is all of our threads, including cottons, polys, cotton poly, silks, monofilaments, everything. This one right here, this Omni, this is a poly. That is correct. So this is a poly wrapped poly Omni thread, 6,000 yards. This is the, they say Tex 30. It's also like a 40 weight. That's kind of that semi classification on that. But I love ash gray by far my favorite color in the Superior Threads lineup, just because it has that kind of taupey gray look to where it's going to kind of lay in with different colors and blend in closer with different colors. If you're ever like, you have like a multicolor quilt and you're like, I don't really know what I want to throw on that. One of these colorings in this ash gray family is stunning. And it's really, really nice to use when you're working. I know you can also use Omni. It's primarily for quilting. I've also seen a lot of people use it for their sergers because it's a really nice thread for serging as well, just based off of the fiber type that it is, the poly-wrapped poly. And there's a benefit to that in just a second that I'll show you. The weight 30, low lint because it's a triple gassed polyester, so it burns off all of those little fibers when it's working through in that section. Beautiful color again in that piece. The 3021 is by far my favorite that is available in the Omni lineup. However, Omni does have 172, or about maybe it might be 170 now, different colors that are available. So a very wide range, and 6,000 yards is a lot of thread. Now, they heard you, Superior heard you when I just said it is a lot of thread. Okay. So if you're just starting out, or if you're like, I don't know if I want to invest all of that into, thread just yet. Remember, Omni is 30% off right now for Black Friday. So you can't beat that. First of all, that's a steal. It's never that good of a price. And I thought I had it in here. Oh, did I grab the wrong one? I grabbed the wrong one. They also have a mini Omni. Okay, so that's new to the family. They didn't have minis before, so the standard ones are 6,000 yards. But if you're really wanting to try things out, or if you were wanting to take advantage of maybe using them on your serger, like I had mentioned, there is a mini option that is available. I'm just trying to grab it on here so you can see them. There we go. Now it should be showing. There is the Omni Minis. So they are 2,000 yard cones of the same Tex 30 40 weight thread. Beautiful coloring coming on the exact same cone, but you can see the difference in between the 2,000 and the 6,000. So if you're wanting to get more colors and try out different things, a 2,000 is a really great way to go. This is one of the colors. This is beach grass. This is one of my favorites that they offer in the minis, but there are a wide variety of the different mini colors that are available that you could try out. And again, wonderful price happening right now on that Black Friday. You get over that $99, you're getting free shipping. Over the $149, you're getting an additional 2,000 Corey's Cash points. Over the $299, you're getting all of that plus the $10 gift card. So you can't beat that. But poly wrap poly, triple gassed, 40 weight, wonderful for overall quilting. A poly with a matte finish, so it looks like it's cotton. But it really isn't. So if you're looking for more of those like traditional colonial quilts or traditional heirlooms, these work really well on them because they're going to give you that cotton look, but the strength of polyester. If you're also a new longarmer or new quilter or new sewist, then using a poly is also a good way to go because it's a very strong fiber because it's a synthetic fiber, which is really great. Next one in the poly lineup. Let's stay in the Superior family for now, and then we'll move over. Omni as well. Let's stay with Omni. So Omni also makes a variegated, and they make it quite well, I might say. This is one of them, but again, there are many different colors. This is the Omni 9033. This is red, white, and blue. I believe it's called Stars and Stripes, if I'm not mistaken. And it is a 40 weight as well. Same exact thread, just in the beautiful variegated colors that are available in it. Some very bold, beautiful colors. I love the way Omni does their dyeing process. Superior does the dyeing process for Omni. They're very bright, vivid, bold colors. I mean, you can see how beautifully, like on camera, that's showing, and it looks that exact way in person. I mean, they're stunning. Again, we're looking at them at the side, but always remember when you're checking variegateds to check from the top to see the true coloring of them. But same type of thread, same type of great strength, same ply, same weight, same everything, just in a beautiful variegation. All of the Superior variegateds that we're going to talk about, like we did talk about King Tut a minute ago, all the Superior ones are going to have a 1-inch variegation, so it's going to be a very quick change in their coloring whenever they're working through. But very, very pretty threads. on this. Okay, so that was Omni V, Omni Variegated Omni V. Let's go into some thinner threads, and then we'll get into some sheen threads. Should we do that? We should do that. Yeah, okay. So the next one in the lineup is also from Superior. This one is So Fine. So Fine is a 50 weight. So remember, the higher the weight, the thinner the thread. So we're going up in weight. We were at 40. Now we're moving up to 50. Okay. So with this 50 weight, it's going to be a little bit thinner. So this is also good for piecing if you're looking for a polyester option. I know a lot of people that do piece with poly without a problem. Sometimes I will, depending on if that's what I have. My foundation paper piecing is either done with Aurifil 80 or Deco Bob, which is a cottonized poly. So the polys are going to give you a nice strong seam. They're going to iron very well. They're not going to melt or anything like that by any means. A lot of people will also quilt their overall quilts with a 50 weight thread, a little bit thinner. So it's going to kind of showcase the quilt top more than the actual quilting. So if you have a beautiful quilt top that you don't really want to see all of the quilting as much, you still want to see it, but not as much, then the 50 weight is a really great way to go, and So Fine is wonderful for that. So the So Fine used to come in a bunch of different weights. Superior has narrowed it down to one, so now they've got the 50 weight, 3-ply. On all of these, it's going to be a 3,280 yard cone, which is really great. This is 401, one of my favorite colors for So Fine. Really, really nice on this. Do remember, guys, as I'm showing you all these different ones, remember, I'm just showing you one color, but feel free to add it to your cart. That way, when we're done with the live and you want to go browse a little bit more, oh, I need to go check the So Fine threads, or I need to go check the Aurifil, because it's already in your cart. It's kind of your mental reminder. That way you've got that. 50 weight, good for stitch in the ditch as well. If you're more of a pro at stitch in the ditch, the 50 weight's good if you're trying to match things. Great for your bobbin as well. A little bit of a thinner thread makes that bobbin a little bit more full. It goes a little bit longer. So you've got that there as well. I do want to tell all of you that are watching, Cousin replied, and she said that her heart is so happy, and she loves all of you. So that's yay, go Cousin. So that was So Fine. Let's look at bottom line. Love me some bottom line. Bottom line's great in the bobbin. It's great for top as well. And this color is, you're going to see my running theme. What does it look like? Looks familiar. Okay. So this is bottom line silver. This is number 623. Bottom line is going to be a 60 weight. 60 weight. Okay. So as we're moving up that weight number, it's getting a little bit thinner. Bottom line was primarily made for your bobbin. It is a 2-ply, 60 weight, 3,000 yard. It's going to fill up that bobbin really nice and full. That way your bobbin goes a little bit of a longer way, a little bit of a longer distance on that. Beautiful thread. Has a slight sheen to it. Slight, nothing crazy. Really great for stitch in the ditch as well if you don't want to go any thinner in thread. That way it kind of stays consistent across your piece. So the 60 weight is beautiful. Wide variety of colors that are available in the bottom line family, but the 623 is on. If all I could live with was the silver color across all the threads I'd be happy. I'd be fine, because the color eats up, and as you go thinner, it eats up the color around it even more. So if I lay this silver on top of, did I bring one? I'm just showing you the stuff in the package like I didn't bring a Dorothy basket of thread as I was getting here. I was on my way back from seeing The Wizard. That was a Wizard of Oz reference for those that caught that. I have a gold, so this is 602, but it's fine. But I don't even know if you can see it. It's very, very thin thread. Really, really nice. Has a slight sheen to it. Great feel to it as well. But it's really going to wind in your bobbin quite nicely and fill that up. But again, wonderful for stitch in the ditch if you're going to use that on the top to stitch in your layers. The first episode, we looked at using the magic binding tool to create a flange binding. Or I'm going to ask you in the comments that did watch, what do they call a flange binding in Australia? You'll all know because you all got a kick out of it. I know you did. But to do a flange binding, we showed that. I'm trying to find my sample. Wherever it might be. Oh, it's down here. And you can use that bottom line or something thinner to, yep, they call it a peeper. Peeper strip. Good job, Sue. You can use that thinner thread when you're binding as well, right in that ditch. Oh, you can't even see it. And it just, golly, it just disappears. It's gone. So that silver would work across all these. I'm using this yellow, but even this yellow still very hard to see. Disappears on that. So the bottom line, 60 weight. Again, silver is my favorite color by far in that. Let's see. Can you use poly on your domestic machine to do piecing? You can. Yes, you can do poly to do piecing on your domestic machine as well. The SoFine 50 would work really great for that if you want to do that standard piecing. So that was bottom line. The next one up in the superior family of poly threads, right now we're looking at solids. We're going to look at a few others. We're going to go one thinner. If you really want to get into some super micro work, then you've got micro quilter. Okay. Again, running theme in the color, folks. You see what I like. Okay. Okay. My house may or may not be painted with this color on some of the walls. I don't know. Probably is. It is. Okay. This is micro quilter. This one is 100 weight. 100 weight. It is very, very thin. Okay. What's wonderful about micro quilter is if you're brand new to Stitch in the Ditch and you really want it to disappear and kind of give you a little bit of leeway either way, micro quilter is going to be your best friend. If you like to do really dense background quilting, like super duper dense background quilting, micro quilter is going to be your best friend for that as well. And it's going to look just like not much of it's just going to look like it's there. It's really going to showcase the shadowing of the quilting more than the actual thread itself. The 7007, hands down, best color for any type of work that you want to blend together. But remember, like I've been talking about, all of our threads that I'm showing you have, micro quilter I think has 40 colors. I'm just showing you one of the 40, but I'm just showing you my favorite. But you have multiple different options to use for the micro quilter. 100 weight, you're going to want a little bit of a smaller needle for that. Maybe the 3.5 is the one that I would use. To match your bobbin weight, if you're trying to keep consistent bobbin on the back, if you're ever going to use like the 100 weight on the top, in your like custom quilting, I would probably use, if you want to keep it consistent on the back, maybe like a 60 weight on the back across like your other types of quilting that you're doing. So the whole back has that same consistent thickness of thread, but on the front you can bounce between 100 weight, 40 weight, 60 weight, 80 weight, and be very successful in that. Again, it is a thinner thread, so you might have to back off on your tension, go a little bit slower on your quilting, be patient. Because as a thinner thread and going through our machines the way we use them, you can't like zip the machine around, long arm or domestic, and be successful with that. So just keep that in mind. But the micro quilter is a really, really good one. I use micro quilter a lot for actually for hand binding. People don't know that this is my trick. I really don't like to see my hand binding stitches on the back, so I will get a color that matches the backing. I have every single one of these. And I like to do it hand binding with it because it literally disappears and you can't tell. And it's super sweet to do it that way in that portion. So micro quilter is a great bet for that. Let's see. And can you use micro quilter in a long arm? You sure can. Yes, I use this on I have an Anova. I had a Gamel before. I've been on multiple different ones and it works really well. Just remember, you might have to play with your top tension a little bit and go into a little bit of a smaller size needle. Kyla, what kind of machine do you work with? I've used Glide 80 weight and my Husqvarna had difficulty. I personally use, I've got an Anova, I've got a Juki, on my way to having a Bernina here soon. And I've played with all of them without an issue. Glide doesn't have a 80 weight. They only have a 40 and a 60. And if your machine had a little bit of difficulty with one of those weights of thread, I would back off on your tension, your top tension, even on your Husqvarna a little bit, and that should help you a lot significantly when you're when you're working with that. And then looks like Mom got a great question answered for some plies. But for those that aren't watching, I think this is from YouTube, but for those that are watching on different platforms, when I say 3-ply or 2-ply, the ply is how many strands of thread are twisted together to create the one thread that we see. If I open this up and untwist it, it's you won't be able to see it. But like this signature thread is a 3-ply, and the only reason I know is because when I twist against the natural twist of it, you'll start to see the fibers unwind. I don't recommend doing this, but you can see that there's 3 strands of fiber that are wound together, i.e. a 3-ply, that come together to make the one thread. So that's how they lay together when we're going. Okay, so that was micro quilter. We're doing pretty good. We gotta keep going with us. Okay, let's look at. We're still in the superior family. We've got 2 more in the superior family to look at. The next one I want to show you guys is one. It's slept on. It really, honestly is. It is Magnifico. Okay, so Magnifico is going to be a 40 weight. 3,000 yards on the cone, has a very nice sheen to the thread. Now this one's in plastic, so you're seeing that sheen as it is, but this blue one is out of plastic. Look at the sheen. Hot dog. Okay. Really, really pretty thread. We see a lot of people use Magnifico for embroidery. You can also use it in your long arm. I liked using it for quilting a lot. It is a little bit thicker. It's a 40 weight shiny thread, where Glide, which we'll get to in a minute, is also 40 weight, but I think they're just measured a little differently personally. So this one's really going to pop your quilting a lot. So if you're doing something that is really wanting to show off your quilting and have a little bit of sheen to it, I recommend trying out Magnifico. It is beautiful. And then we've got, the red and the green option that gave me Christmas vibes. So those are the ones that I grabbed. But Magnifico, that was the 2104. And then we also got the 2043 here in studio for today's live shopping event. Stunning. 30% off on our website right now. This thread is, and it's so gorgeous, and having these different colors are so fun. But they are so much fun to embroider with. The coloring on it and the sheen and the vivid saturation that it gives you is incredible on that. Another one in that same type of shiny, vivid sheen lineup from Superior is going to be Fantastico. So we had Magnifico. Now we're flying in with Fantastico. Okay, so Fantastico is going to be the variegated version, more or less, the variegated version of Magnifico. So that's my personal opinion. It's basically what I think it is. But you're going to get that beautiful, strong variegation every inch on that variegation. This one's called Flower Pot. It looks like, or Flower Power, excuse me. It looks kind of like a neon rave party, and I love it. I think it's so cool and bright. It shows up under the black light beautifully. This is going to give you a gorgeous sheen again on your quilts. As you can see, the 5006, we use that one a lot here for quilts. This one works so well or any of these Fantasticos work really well if you're wanting to showcase the quilting, add a pop of color to the quilt. If you don't really know what color to throw on the quilt, but it has a wide variety of color, there's a wide variety of color in Fantastico. And there is a bonus deal happening with these. If you buy 2, you get an additional 500 bonus points on top of the points you get for just purchasing them. And then if you go over that $149 threshold for anything in that order, then you're getting an additional 2,000 bonus points. So that's, sold. That's the way to do it. So really great pricing on these. But Fantastico, with that sheen, poly, great for embroidery, great for quilting. I'm trying to think if I missed anything on it. I think that's it. Yeah. There it is on there. Okay. Is that everything in the Superior family? Oh, there's one more in the Superior family. Metallic. Okay. Don't let metallics scare you. They're a lot of fun. Okay. So metallic is a really fun fiber, and we looked at this morning on the 11 a.m. session. It's really, really nice. It's going to have a beautiful, really bright shine to it, kind of like a metallized shine to it, hence the metallic name. With metallic, just you'll want the largest needle you can get, which is what we carry as a 5.0 size 21. You want a really large needle because you want to make sure there's plenty of play for the thread. You don't want any excess pull on this thread because metallic is a specialty thread. You have to take your time with it. Go a little bit slower with it when you're working. But I've got it. Actually, let me pull this project down so you can see what it looks like quilted up. I've got the gold one quilted on a Thanksgiving table runner that I made, and I'm gonna try to keep it from falling. Hello, there it goes. Okay, but I used the gold one, and I did the Isa thread on the thread, a little bit of a larger needle, but it creates beautiful, beautiful quilting. And I did this over, and I did a bottom line in the bobbin. So I did bottom line in the bobbin, metallic on top. But it came to look at the sheen, that little metallized sheen that it gives it. It's so pretty. But if you use that metallic, try it out. Have fun with it. Don't be afraid of it. If you've had a bad experience with metallic, I'd give it a shot again. Superior makes a really good metallic thread. But I would also make sure I have some Isa thread. I can see that on standby, because you're going to want to put some Isa thread on that metallic thread. That's going to help keep it from being fussy. Let's just call it that, from being fussy. But it creates a beautiful quilt look whenever you are using that. So I highly recommend trying out metallics if you have never done so. But pairing those two together, what a perfect pair. Look here at the bottom, you can see it even shining even more. Oh, it's so good. So yeah, metallic, I would pair it with Isa thread though. Larger needle, slow down on your stitching. I would recommend bottom line in the bobbin for this one. Just my recommendation on that. Okay. All right, that takes us out of the Superior family for what I was able to grab. Let's look at the Fil-Tec family because we have a first ever sale that we've ever been able to do. So I want to make sure that we spend some quick time talking about that. So you guys know, if you don't know, now you know, Glide is one of my favorite threads. So Glide is a 40 weight polyester, has a little bit of a sheen to it. Originally came in the game for embroidery, but we have all fallen in love with it for quilting. Love this color. This is my personal favorite. This is Bone 17443. This is actually also in the Corey Pearson Glide collection, the same color. This color alone, now Glide has, 200 colors? I don't even know. A ton of different colors. I know Mom just dropped the full link. There's a ton of different glides. This one alone has that kind of iridescent feel where it's going to blend into what's around it and really give a good look into this whenever I am working through it. It also has a little bonus, just like the Aurifil. If you pop the bottom off, not off, but just pop the bottom, then it opens up a little bit of a groove, and that's where you can hide your thread. So then whenever it's off the cone and whenever you're done with it, you just get it in that groove, wrap it in all the way, and pop it in. And that's going to hold your thread together. But the Glide, again, has that beautiful sheen to it in that section. Really, really nice overall thread to work with. Beautiful coloring in it. Very bright, vivid. And it's also 30% off right now, which never happens. So it's 30% off, and you can get all these different ones. Now, this is a 5,500 yard cone. Some people might not like to, 380 colors. Thanks, Mom. This is a 5,500 yard cone. Some people might not like to get full sizes of cones. These are the king size cones. They're also offered in cute little baby cones. Okay. This is my second favorite color. This is First Kiss 10574. Which I've got that on the line up right here. Okay, 10574. These are 1,100 yard cones. Same beautiful color. Now, the First Kiss is more of a blushy version of the Bone. So if you're working on darker colored fabrics, the First Kiss looks stunning on those, and it blends very well into a bunch of different colors. It's just a rosier finish of that iridescent, and it's again, one of the best colors I think they make. They have a few. They've got a good amount of color. You can't really pick one, let's be honest. But they have the little mini 1100 yard cones as well that are available, and these are also 30% off. So I mean, if you're looking for stuff for embroidery, or if you're looking to expand your quilting thread selection, I mean, sold. They also have a color card, and I know we sell those. I don't have it on here, but there's also a color card that's available. And that color card has the real threads in them. You can purchase that. That way you can see the true coloring of all the different threads, all the different glide threads. And they're beautiful. They're stunning. And Mom did mention, thank you for throwing this in. Here's an extra bonus here. If you buy 5, is that true? Why didn't I know about that? I need to get some of that. If you buy 5 mini glides, you get an extra 500 Corey's Cash points. Corey's Cash points, not $500. You get points that then that get converted into dollars through a different mathematics stuff. But in a bonus 500 Corey's Cash points. That's great. And you can just get 10 and then get more and then more and then more. It's just every single one. Mom also dropped in that color card for us, so thank you, Mom. So this is the 40, the Glide 40. Again, comes in the king cones, and then also comes in the mini cones. The Glide, like I said, is the 40 weight. The Glide 40, this thread is the same thread that is on the Magna Glide Delight pre-wound bobbins. So the pre-wound Magna Glide Delights, this is the same thread that's wound on those. So if you're trying to match the same thickness of threads and colors, there are also matching colors that match those as well. So keep that in mind. But the Magna Glide Delights are the same thing that match the Glide 40 on top. If you want to, actually, before I move on, I saw a question. Let me scroll back up. Joanne asked, what size needles did you say for the 80 weight cotton? Got caught up in thread excitement and forgot what you said. I understand. When you're going for the 80 weight cotton on the top, like if you're using a long arm, a 3.5, a size 16 works fine. You could go down to a 3.0. That's just starting to get a little small for me. I like the 3.5 or the 4.0. If you're on a sewing machine, 12, if that 90-12, is that 90-14? A size 12 is really good for that on your sewing machine. But great question. Looking at the same Glide as well, if you want to go with a little bit of a thinner, Glide also offers a 60 thread. So a Glide 60 is also an option. This is the Cool Gray 3. Really, really nice color, but if you're looking for that little bit of that thinner thread, but still has that nice little sheen, wonderful for that stitch in the ditch work, wonderful for background quilting, wonderful for just kind of overall quilting too. The 60 weight is really, really nice. Now you'll notice the difference in colors of cones. The color of cone will also kind of give you an idea what the thread is as well. So if it's a gray cone like this, it'll be the Glide 40. If it's a black cone like this, it'll be the Glide 60. Okay? So they come on different color cones for that reason. So that's really nice. So you can kind of determine if you lose the sticker that's on top of it. You can kind of determine that. Another bonus on that is sometimes you can lose that sticker because when you take your machine and you put your thread on the little thread popper, and sometimes it can pop the sticker off. I have always, and this might make me crazy, but I actually will get another label printer, like I have a label printer, and I'll put what it is, and I put it on the inside of the cone underneath. That way, if this ever gets lost, I always know what it is. You can even get like a silver Sharpie and write on the black cones, or a black Sharpie on the gray cones, just to write what it is, because there are times where I've grabbed a thread and I was like, oh, I don't remember which one this is. But I looked at the color of the cone, or I looked at my writing, just because sometimes that sticker can pop off. So you always want to have that available for you when you are doing that. So again, Glide 60, filament polyester on this, really, really nice as it works. Another thing I forgot to talk about, if you didn't know, the reason why most threads have a shine to them when you see these sheens is like Glide, for instance, Fantastico, Magnifico, they're trilobal threads. And so that means the fiber remember we talked about ply, that question that was asked when they're wound together and how does a ply happen? The fibers of those threads are not circular. A trilobal is a triangle fiber that's wound together. So that's what helps the light refract off of it and give it that beautiful shine. Bonus side education tip of the day in that. The other one in the Fil-Tec family that I grabbed, if we're looking for a variegated, is going to be Affinity. Now, Affinity is a little bit more on the higher end of the spectrum when it comes to cost for thread, and there's a reason why it's stunning. It's a variegated, basically version of Glide. It's going to give you that same 40 weight, 3,000 yards on this one for these, but beautiful color saturation for Affinity. Great variegation throughout the whole thing as well when it's kind of going through its portions. Really, really pretty. 30% off on this as well, but absolutely gorgeous when you're quilting. I will tell you, you might have to drop your top tension a little bit with Affinity. And I've always used a little bit of Ease Thread, even though it's a poly. I've always used a little bit of Ease Thread on this, just because it's more of that specialty variegated. I just wanted you to be able to see it. I think it's a really, really pretty thread. And those that have used Affinity, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Really, really nice thread on this one. Offers a really beautiful color range and very bright, saturated. If you ever saw my Big Tex quilt that I quilted for the shop hop, the whole sky was done in like the baby blue Affinity. And the way the fibers work in that thread really kind of set it back and provided a lot of shadowing and texture for the quilting, which really made it pop. So that's why I love Affinity. Well, someone's going to get a thread that has my kiss on it. So there you go. Okay, we've got 3 more to look at. And those are the ones I just grabbed. There are a ton and that we have available, but these are just the ones that I picked up. The last ones we're going to look at are the Permacore family. So Permacore is kind of, you know how Signature was like the OG of cotton threads? Well, Permacore is the OG of poly threads in the quilting family, or in the quilting world. Okay. So there are 3 different versions that we carry here at Linda's. We have the Permacore Tex 40, the Permacore Tex 30. See, we're getting back to Tex. We've been in weight, but now we're getting back to Tex. And then the Permacore Tex 30 Quilters Edition. So the 40 and the 30, same type of thread, just different type of thickness. The 40 is going to be a little thicker because we're in the Tex family now. The 40 is going to be a little thicker, where the 30 is going to be just a little bit thinner. Really going to show off more of the quilt here. This is going to be more of the quilting here. And then Mom just dropped the full Permacore link in the chat as well, so thank you. And then the Quilters Edition is going to be a basically half of the size cone of the larger 30. So they're both Tex 30s. Okay, and I have the Quilters Edition on the live screen right now for you. But this is about half the size. So they brought them into smaller cones, so you wouldn't have to commit to a full 6,000 yards when you're purchasing out these colors. But there are some fun options there in this. Love the way they work together. Permacore is, if you're really wanting to start out and looking for just a super duper uber strong thread because you don't really quite know your machine yet, or you haven't had enough time to play with it and you don't really want to dive into different types of threads, Permacore is just right there ready to go. Okay, it's made for more industrial style stuff, but they brought it into quilting and fixed the fiber content, obviously, so it was an industrial fiber. And it's a really wonderful, it comes in this standard plastic bag. Okay, no fancy branding here. Really great thread, bright, vivid color on that. Quilters Edition's what we have on the screen right now. Wine Spritz is probably one of my favorites that's offered in. It's like a nice burgundy maroon. Still a Tex 30, so that's how that one's going to be. 3,000 yards on this, where this one is 6,000 yards. But the Permacore family has 3 different lineups here at Linda's. Okay, I do want to talk about the color of the cone, just like with the glide colors that we looked at, the glide cones that we looked at. The color of the cone is going to let you know what type of Permacore you're working with. So if it is a black cone, it's going to be a Tex 30. Okay, so the 30 size will always have a black cone. This is the spring green, the grass green, really pretty green on that one. And then there's also the Tex 40, which is going to be on a green cone. Okay, so the green cones will be the 40. So that's going to be your difference in those. So either black cone or green cone. Green cone is 40, black cone is the 30 in that session of that lineup. Okay. Permacore, signature any, or the first cotton and poly is available for a long arm. Oh, a little history. Mom always likes us to have a good history lesson when she's working with us, and I appreciate that. Alrighty, guys. So that is... says keeps losing sound. Uh-oh. I'm sorry, Carla. It looks like my mic's still hooked up. Let me look. Yeah, it looks like everything's still hooked up. Is everyone hearing me okay? All good on this side. Okay. Double check your sound on your device, Carla. Maybe up that a little bit. But yeah, everything looks hooked up on my side. So I do apologize if you're having some sound issues, though. Alrighty, guys, that was our episode 2 of our Stream and Shop session for our Black Friday, Cyber Monday sessions. We flew through the threads that I was able to grab from the warehouse. But remember, we have over 60 different brands of thread on our website. So if you're watching us on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, hop over to lyndas.com. You can participate in the next live shopping event. I forgot to tell you this. Yes. Yeah, it feels like yesterday, a couple hours ago. I forgot to tell you that you can, on that live shopping page, click that notify me button next to the events that you would like to be notified for. And the system will shoot you out a text message minutes before the event to give you a quick reminder that we are about to go live, so you can join us for that. So make sure you hop over to that live shopping page, click those notify me's, fill out the information so you can get notified for our next live. Our next one is in about 50 minutes. And I'm going to head over to the store right now where we are going to do a fabric walkthrough through the store. Now, for this one, there won't be much of a live shopping edition. It's really going to be more of like a POV of a point of view of the store and the different things. If we find some things I'm like, oh, we really got to talk about this, I'll add it into the stream so you can quickly add it. But this is going to be one of those where you get to walk through and see the fabrics really up close and in high def. And then keep that in mind if you want to know what it is. I'll tell you the name and then you can search for it, because all of our fabrics are up to 35% off. All of the ones we're going to be looking at today in a few minutes are all going to be 35% off. Tomorrow when we go to the store again, there's going to be a different percentage on those for that section of the store. But all the ones we're looking at today are 35% off. So I think, is the BOGO still happening too? Now I feel like I need to call Sean. Hold, please, folks. This is what we do on the event. This is live. This is what I do. I want to make sure it's happening. He's probably not going to answer the phone, but that's okay. I think it is. Oh, my call's been forwarded to voicemail. I see what he wants to do. I want to say, what? Yes, no, I know it is. Oh, that's why he didn't answer the phone. Oh my gosh. I'm going to ask him real quick. He's going to tell me one thing or another. But we're going to do that at 3 p.m. Oh, Mom says yes. Okay, cool. And I'll double check, though. We are still going to be back at 3 p.m. Central to do the walkthrough of the fabric and the store. And we definitely don't want to miss that. So, yes, the fabric BOGO. Okay, so I just wanted to say, I wanted to make sure before I said it, I verified. So here's another hint. Just you and I. Okay? Just you and I know this. So the fabric that we're going to look at today is 35% off. If you buy 5 yards of fabric, Sean didn't turn off the BOGO. So if you buy 5 yards of fabric, you get the 6th yard for free. Yeah. Okay. So if you buy 5 yards of fabric, you get the 6 yard for free. They do not have to be the same fabric for all 6 yards. Okay. So you could buy 1 yard of this, 2 yards of that, 3 yards of that. My math would equal that the 6 yard would be free. That 1 yarder would be free. It does go off the lowest value. item, so keep that in mind. But I mean, sold. I want to thank you so much for joining me for the second episode of the Black Friday Cyber Monday Stream and Shop. I do want to give a shout out to our sponsors one more time. Every order that you place here at Linda's will get you an entry into the giveaway. We have our sponsors are Aliso, Quilter Select, Famore, Fil-Tec, Linda's, and Aurifil, and Hobbs and Aurifil. And we're very, very thankful for their wonderful donations to our bonus giveaways. Again, every entry that you place from November 24th to December 1st at 11:59 p.m. Central Time will get you an entry into the bonus giveaways, and I will be drawing those live next Thursday on After Hours here at Linda's. So again, thank you all so much. I have got to pack this show up and sprint over to the store so we can get ready, and I will see you shortly at 3 p.m. Central. Bye, guys.